Julie, nice to meet you.
Where did she go?
What did I do?
You are our Daisy Award winner.
I am.
You are.
For what?
Yes. Congratulations. Yeah. So the Daisy Award is an international nursing award that was founded by Patrick Barnes' family. Patrick was a 33-year-old gentleman who was dying from an autoimmune disease. And so his family was trying to figure out what they could do for the nursing staff. And late in Patrick's illness, when he really couldn't tolerate food, his dad brought him Cinnabons from the Cinnabon company. And so one day, Patrick said, well, when you bring my Cinnabon, please bring enough Cinnabons for the nurses. So part of our tradition is that we will celebrate with cinnamon rolls. Yeah, cinnamon rolls and coffee and juice. But also they said, what can we do for nursing? Because Patrick really, between the nursing care that he received and how the nursing staff cared for his family while they were going through this terrible time, they wanted to do something for nurses. So they started the DAISY Foundation, which stands for diseases of the autoimmune system. So what started out as just a foundation in the United States quickly went international. And so this is an international award. And part of what you receive is a beautiful, beautiful statue that you can unwrap. And the statue, yes, careful. The statue comes from sculptors in Zimbabwe. And so many of us know that the economic situation in Zimbabwe is not the best. And so by utilizing these individual sculptures, one, they're each carved by a unique sculptor, so no two are the same, and it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So this is from a patient, and the patient's grandmother also wrote a nomination, and the two almost mirrored each other. So I'll read the one from the actual mother of a 2-year-old daughter. Addison came into Mercy for fluids and IV antibiotics on February 5th, 2020. She had been diagnosed with walking pneumonia and was thought to be dehydrated and weak. As time went on, Addie was not improving. She seemed more painful and was slowly losing function in her legs and eventually her arms. We expressed our concerns that something more was going on, but doctors and nurses seemed to think it was just weakness from the pneumonia. By the morning of Friday, February 7th, Addie was no longer able to sit up or move her arms and legs. Allison, the shift supervisor and our nurse on that Friday, listened thoughtfully as we explained our concerns. She made us feel that our concerns were valid and encouraged us to speak up to the doctor about wanting additional testing to be done. She also reached out to the doctor to express her concerns. Our doctor teamed up with the hospitalist to discuss options, and additional labs and evaluations were done. Allison kept us informed immediately when any lab results or conversations with the doctors were had. She calmly and clearly explained why certain tests or labs were being done, and also informed us of policies and procedures with regard to who was able to give orders and who was overseeing our daughter's care. This helped immensely when deciding how to proceed with questions and concerns. Addie continued to be monitored. One of the hospitalists expressed his concern that we may be looking at meningitis or Guillain-Barré syndrome. By this time, it was into the evening hours and a new nurse had been assigned. However, Allison stayed as decisions were made to transfer us to the University of Iowa. She continued to check in on us and kept us informed with regard to how the transfer would work. Once the ambulance arrived, Addie was put onto a cart, and since parents are not allowed to ride along in the ambulance, we had to leave her with the EMTs and drive to Iowa City to meet them. As a mother walking away from my 2-year-old daughter, as she was being strapped to the cart and taken to the ambulance, was the most painful moment I've ever experienced. The feeling of helplessness when trying to tell a screaming child that it will be okay was overwhelming. However, amid the tears and frustration, I saw Allison was still there, hours past the end of her shift. The comforting look that she gave to me as I sobbed over my child was the tiny bit of assurance that I needed to be able to walk away and make the drive to Iowa City. As we left, Allison was comforting Addie and trying to calm her down. She walked with the EMTs to the ER and stayed with our daughter until she got into the ambulance. This, in my mind, is incredible. Allison went far above and beyond what would have ever been expected. She was our advocate from the first time we met her, and I shudder to think how far the Guillain-Barré could have progressed if she hadn't stepped in and helped us to dig deeper. Not only was she an advocate, but she was a source of comfort in one of the most difficult times in my life. Knowing that she was there to calm Addie when we couldn't be, she gave me a tiny bit of peace in an otherwise stressful and overwhelming moment. Thank you, Allison. We are forever grateful for your expertise, kindness, strength, and compassion during such a difficult time. You are an amazing nurse and an outstanding person.
Well, my goodness, thank you, everyone.
We have your family here.
I know.
That's a surprise you, because how often do they get to see you at work?
Never.
Imagine, right?
Never.
Well, this comes as no surprise because Allison's extraordinary and she always has been since the day she walked through this door. So I'm so grateful for her and everything she does every day. She's my right hand. This doesn't surprise me and she does it every day.
Yep.
Very, very, very much congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.